Hey, what is up, guys? Just wanted to make a quick Gintama video, guys. Huge spoiler, so do not watch this video if you haven't finished Gintama. But I wanted to really tell you guys, actually, maybe one thing you can watch this part of this, the first part. I'll put subscribe in the background, so when this goes away, it's gonna be spoiler territory. All right, so I think I've mentioned this before, but there's many words in Gintama that mean different things, and it's harder to get when you're reading it in English, but not impossible. It's a bit harder in the anime too, because you don't have like the furigana, which is like the kind of like extra text above words in Japanese, and when you read. So one of them is, for example, Shinsengumi is actually like, now I'm gonna butcher some meanings, but as long as you get the main idea, it's fine. You can go double check for yourself. But Shinsengumi is kind of like new choice squad. It's kind of like, or a true choice squad or something. It like has to do with your choice, and that ties back to the whole theme of finding your own path. Um, well, the translation in the anime was like your own brand of samurai, but I think it was like Sorezore no Samurai in Japanese or something. Anyway, so the main thing is though like swords. Swords are like connected to the soul. So a lot of times in sword play, even in I'll bet that if you're rereading it and you look at the sword fights, and for example, uh, the choreography and stuff like that actually sometimes ties into the character and the actual story and themes. But especially in the dialogue when people talk about swords, like I know this sword or only my sword is resonating or whatever with him. Excuse me. So those moments, they're really talking about someone's soul, and what a soul is defined throughout the story but not directly, because if you define something directly, it cheapens it, to be honest. When you give like a lot of like things like saying, oh, it's not this, it's not this, it could be this, but it's not this. That's what makes it something that the reader can take and mold in their own mind. So that it might be a bit different from what the author is thinking, but it's still something that has a lot of commonalities and it has a lot of depth and room for further, inquiry. So at this point, I'm gonna turn the subscribe button thing off, and it's gonna be spoiler territory, so just click away. But definitely, you should read Gintama. All right, so and when you're done, you can like add this video to watch later now, and you can check it out later. So here, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Literally the last movie spoilers. All right, so well, I can hide this and just show you the text, and then that'll be it won't be that bad, I guess. So this is, I run an odd jobs business with these guys. So a lot of times Yorozuya is translated as odd jobs, which is fine, but Yorozuya actually means like pretty sure it means either like 100 million things shop or like 10,000 things shop. I don't know the exact thing, but basically in some Asian languages, when you have like a very large number, it just represents infinity. So essentially, Yorozuya is meant to mean like we do everything together, or not everything. So can mean a lot of things. So it means like we do everything, or like with these guys, I've experienced everything, or like these guys are everything to me, or stuff like that. So when Gin says I run an odd jobs business to these guys, I feel. I mean, this is gonna sound cocky as hell, but I feel a little bit sorry for people who like watch the anime or whatever, or just read it and don't really know the double meaning, because like I know it's just like a, to some of you guys it might just be like a pun, like, oh, it has another meaning, lol. But I think that it really ties in so well with everything, that even if it's one small change, it has like one small change that has connections to like thousands of other small changes, and all of that really builds up to more than just addition. It's like multiplication. um, just like Hinata and Kageyama's Killer Quick, or whatever quick it was called. But anyway, so yeah, Yorozuya, right? He said it a couple of times in the story, and usually the meaning is not just I run an odd jobs business. For example, here he's telling, big spoilers, okay? He's telling, Gintoki is telling Shoyo sensei, um, 俺今よろずや yattenda. So something like that. So what he's saying is like, before I, it's, the implication is kind of like this: before I had absolutely nothing, or I mean he did have something when he was with Shoyo sensei and the rest as kids, but before that it's pretty much implied that he had nothing, and then after that and during the war and after the war it's implied that for a long period of time he also had nothing. So this isn't just saying I now run a job and this is like what business, or I mean I run a business and this is my job. It's actually saying like, even though like we suffered also because of you, sensei, but in general, like I lost everything, But right now, like I know it's meant. I know people got the meaning that I'm doing okay now. That's kind of the acting helps with that in the anime movie as well. But it's really also saying like I've gained so much. It's like thanks to these guys. Um, Basically like 이만 요로지요 야텐. That also kind of means like we're just doing everything together. Kind of like all aspects of life. Let me see how else I can expound on this. Mm, it just means like I'm doing everything and anything, and yeah, it just really hammers in that I'm living a good life, and I wanted you to know that I'm having a full life right now, you know. Um, and so when Sensei replies, I think it's like shikato mitazo, or like basically I've seen that with my own eyes, I verified it. Um, yeah, it means a bit more than just like the basic, well, a bit more basic meaning of like I'm just running this job with these guys. It kind of goes to instead of just talking about his this like relationship, like oh I run like a job with these guys, and you know we are friends, we're nakama and so on, which is good, and it does have depth already, but it adds a bit more depth when it's kind of like he's reaffirming Gintoki's entire life explicitly. Um, so yeah, that's why in other places too. And then I know the dialogue sometimes, I'm not even gonna get into this. Like if you're the type of person who's like, oh, this dialogue is cringe, like just get out of here. But there's a lot of other places where when I was reading for the first time, I didn't really get why like the lines were the way they were. Like for example, like let's say he's literally about to die, but then he stands up and says, "I am Yorozuya." I think in the Shogun arc, there was a moment like that. Or like, I think he said, "We protect against all odds." That was the subtitles, and I think the manga translation was about the same. Like, "We protect against all odds." It was the line with Takasugi when he was like, while you gained 100, or while you threw away 100, I made bonds with 1,000, blah, blah, blah. And then he counted up the numbers until he got to say, we protect against all odds. I know they tried to match the pun with all odds and odd jobs, but really, it's kind of more like when he says, we are Yorozuya. Like, that sounded kind of weird if you say it in English, but like, what it really means is that, like, while Takasugi threw everything away, Gintoki has tried to like gain everything, right? And I know that meaning is already there, but there's a lot more impact that you get to see because um, because like when he says it's like the literal buildup of the numbers, and then it goes to Yorozu, yeah, which is like a really big number, and then like kind of like shop or place or whatever. Um, so yeah, when he says that, it sounds a little bit weird. There's things that sound weird in English. I know the lines can even be corny in Japanese sometimes, but especially in English, when it's like, you've lost a lot, but I've gained a lot. We are Yorozuya. Like the we are Yorozuya, you could just be like, what the fuck is he like? Why would he say that there? It's kind of weird. But really, it actually makes perfect sense if you kind of understand the Japanese nuances. Um, so yeah, basically this video is just about Yorozuya. I guess I'll make the title of the video like what does Yorozuya actually mean or something. All right, cool. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash subscribe. I make videos pretty irregularly now because I don't really like read or watch too much, but yeah, maybe in the future I'll make a new channel with like my actual face and whatever, and then I'll try to get some actual like views and patrons and whatever, and then do like those like shitty anime reactions and go like, yo, this man, yo, no way, the animation, bro, the art and animation or whatever, but not today. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.